She's somewhere, though, for sure. If you were expecting Reverend Ann, I'm sorry. She'll be back next week, though, and I will not be overly offended if you leave. Just a little bit, but not a lot. As per usual, we are starting off with gathering songs with Nancy. Yeah. Yeah, we are. Surprise!
I was wondering if you were going to come.
I just thought, I actually thought you were going to say. Anyway, great. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Nancy.
So,
Get closer to the mic.
just go.
It's all right.
As long as you know the words.
So, for those of you who are with me in July, we talked about passing of the peace as something to do as consciously as you're able to. For those of you that don't know, it's pretty simple. You just say the peace of God be with you, and you call back also with you, and you say hi to all your neighbors and everyone who's on this journey with you today. So, the peace of God be with you.
Also with you.
Say hi to everyone here.
Everybody.
All right. Announcements. Woo! Next Sunday, church is in the community room. Woohoo! For those of you who don't know where the community room is, it is just over there. It looks like an old yoga studio. It is right beside the little kitchen. So anyone who comes next week, we will be in the community room and not the sanctuary. And Anne has asked me to talk briefly about the amazing event that we have going on during the Polish Festival. There is someone who's a renowned lacrosse, indigenous lacrosse expert and players. No, but it's an expert.
Yeah.
He probably also plays stuff.
They play piano too.
So, thanks. So the event is September 13th and 14th here. So on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2, there's going to be stick making demonstrations, drop-in skills trainings for kids, and meet and greet with a Toronto RUC player. That's the professional lacrosse league in Toronto. And then on Sunday, we will not be having church. We will instead have an elder here doing smudging and drumming circle, and we will get an intro to lacrosse for healing and conflict resolution. And for the first time anywhere ever, the game will be played right here in the front of the sanctuary. So we'll have nets up, and so yeah, everyone come out. It's going to be amazing. And I think Philip's also, I forget which day, but for an hour or so, Philip's also going to be hanging out by the murals doing Q&A for people that want to talk to Philip about all of the art that he's produced. Right? And, oh yeah, special guest, new to me just now, Alexis is going to be performing with Anthony today. Awesome.
It's been a while since I've sang due to some circumstances in my life, so I'm going to do my best.
Two main success stories, and one of those is you're cured and all the physical ailments are leave you, or the other option is you, despite all of your struggles, you do something amazing with your life. And I think traditionally that's how those stories have been talked about, and today I'm not here to say that this woman was cured in any particular way. I think I just want to recognize that I've grown up in this society, and this society, whether or not I want to believe it or not, is quite ableist, meaning that society is set up for people who are assumed to be able to do certain things. And I know that I come from that vantage point, and I just praying that when I'm talking about this to you right now, that I'm able to see those places where I'm stuck, and maybe some other people are stuck. So the background to this story is it's only actually in the book of Luke, and it's kind of in Jesus's journeys where he's healing and teaching and doing all of his amazing things that he's to be known for. And this woman who's in the synagogue is physically bent over, and I like to do it visually because there's something about when you're bent over, your gaze is automatically on the floor. It's very hard to be bent over and looking up. And I think that's important, her posture. I'm not going to assume that there's what her physical ailment is. All that we know is that she's been suffering for 18 years. She's bound by a spirit. So whatever it is that's binding her, I don't know, it's almost, you can feel that when you're in this position about what types of things bind us and bring us down. She's possibly, she's in a synagogue. Maybe she's asking for relief. Maybe she's asking for freedom. Maybe she's asking for an end. Who knows? We're not really told much about her. All we really know is that she's suffering. And there's something very relatable about this woman. Whether or not we're actually physically have something that makes us so that we can't stand up straight, or we're just bent over by guilt or shame or all of the stories that we have about ourselves that make us feel like there's something wrong with us. And I think whether or not I actually believe in the original sin idea, this idea that we're like born broken and we have to spend the rest of our life trying to heal that, I don't believe in it, but it's something that, whether I want to or not, has impacted me. Like, I think there's always been this idea, and I think I'm not the only one, that there's something fundamentally wrong at the core of my being. And it's not, and if people were to see that, they would see how wrong or bad or whatever word you have, the story you tell yourself about that piece. And I even believe sometimes that, for at least for myself, that those stories, that guilt, that shame that I have is actually a protective mechanism. Like, I like to, as much as I want to say that I want to be free and get rid of that, it's that story, that resentment, that I'm able to use as an excuse for why maybe life doesn't turn out the way I want it to. Like, I hold on to those stories, and there's something deeply terrifying about letting go of the things in my life that bend me over. And although for this woman, original sin, that doctrine, that idea didn't originate for hundreds of years after, there was in her society, in the first century Greco-Roman world, this idea called physiognomy, which was basically that you could look at a person and look at a physical characteristic and use it to tell something about that person. So an example is that there's a man with a big wide mouth, and apparently that means he's a good eater, a good fighter, and simple-minded. So we can imagine that this woman who's bent over, that when people see her the way that she is, I guess people are making assumptions about who that person is based on what she looks like. That is very familiar. Like, I think that still happens in our society today. It just kind of looks a little different. Back then, the ideal was the Roman male. So it was basically any deviation from that was what was judged as different. And I think that still happens. So how weird, not weird, but how like interesting that a male in society, Jesus, would have approached this woman. Like in the story, the woman doesn't approach Jesus. A lot of times you'll see they'll ask Jesus for help or for healing. This woman isn't asking for anything. She's just in the synagogue with her head down. And Jesus approaches her and tells her that she's free. Now, we're not really told what that means. We're told that she stands up straight and that the spirit that binds her leaves her. But we're not necessarily told that her life changes in any dramatic way, maybe. We don't know if she still has physical pain or any kind of ailments. We don't even really know what he said. We just have this story. And what I like about this story is that we're not really told that the part of her that was deemed broken was fixed. Like, what if, instead of thinking about it like her spine straightened and everything fixed itself. That maybe just like he took away the shame part, like by going and talking to her and saying like, you're a daughter of Abraham, which would have been meant like you're part of the community, you're part of the Jewish community. That's how they were people of Abraham. That Jesus just went to her and saw her and recognized her for who she really was. And what if like all that he took away was her shame, guilt, or all of the things that kind of bind us? I was reading another spiritual writer, and she was talking about how wholeness or the whole being is never about addition, it's about subtraction. And I found that really interesting because I think in today's society, especially if you look at like health industries, we're told that we're missing key parts of ourselves. There's like something that we're missing, and if we pay enough money or talk to the right person or do the right thing, that's going to be the thing that fixes us. Versus this kind of reversal idea that we're hearing here, where what happens if physically nothing changed, just our perception of what physically was going on changed? Like, what if the only thing that changed was our perception? And if we believe in mind-body connection and science is kind of moving back in that direction, what if our change in perception actually was the thing that changed our bodies? It's interesting. And she went on to say that God saves you in your body, not from your body. And I think for someone who's trans, like that is so interesting, because I think the idea is that there's something deeply flawed, that my body has somehow betrayed me. But the most of the healing came from when I actually accepted the feminine parts of myself. Being someone who's become transmasculine hasn't been about all embracing only the masculine parts of myself. It's been about stopped hating the feminine parts of myself. And removing that hate and the guilt and the shame has been the part that's helped heal the whole me. And when they look at miraculous healing stories, instead of thinking them as the physical ailments are relieved or that the disability is somehow taken away, that really all that shifts is how we see ourselves. And I was watching a documentary and they're talking about the studies that they're doing about this kind of ideas of healing through our minds. When they look at people that have healed, quote unquote, whatever that means for you, there's different characteristics that they all kind of have in common, and a lot of it is all included spirituality and coming to terms with the thing that's bigger than ourselves. However that is, however you define it, whatever it means for you. And I think that's what I see in this story, and what I've seen in my life and seen in other people's lives, is that when we're all given different, I think the universe gives us opportunities for these major shifts in perception. I think whether or not we take it depends on a lot of different things, but I think we're all gifted with this ability to suddenly see life differently. And I think that's what was offered here to this woman. Really, whether or not she continued in pain and whether or not she only stood up for a minute and then bent back over, the idea that something had been lifted from her is very powerful. And I like that story a lot better than I like the stories of the person came and maybe they couldn't walk and then miraculously they could walk again, because that's not everyone's story. And I can imagine it would be very frustrating if all the ways that these stories are told is constantly telling us that the real healing from disability comes from when all of a sudden your body is quote unquote back to like how we see a normal body should be, and that is the way to healing, and not healing as in terms of maybe nothing in our body shifts, just how we see it. I was thinking about how to end today. Because I kind of wanted to both end with a story about someone who was struggling and not overcame it, but had a full life that included struggle, instead of the idea of trying to tell you all a story about someone who had cancer and completely changed their life around, and then they were cured and everything went back to the way it was. Or, I don't know, oftentimes these stories that are meant to be very motivational can, for some people, they're not. You know, depending on who you are and what your life's reality is, it's just not that, doesn't make you feel that good. So I was going all through the internet last night trying to find something that would fit and then also wasn't just like super heteronormative and white. And I was like, okay, because those also are often the stories that we hear. And I came across Harriet Tubman. She, for people who don't know, she brought slaves through the Underground Railroad, and also became like a military strategist and helped free more slaves during the Civil War. Like, quite an amazing woman. One thing I did not know about Harriet Tubman is that she had a head injury. When she was about 13, she got hit in the head. And from that, she struggled with seizures, and she had debilitating headaches and pain. But with that also, she had these like amazing visions, and it tied a lot to like her beliefs in God and how she connected to the divine was really related to these visions she had. And she had this one vision. It says that she was flying over, she was just flying. She was flying over the land in which she lived. And I wonder when I was reading that, if Harriet Tubman, without those visions, or that ability to have those visions, would have had the ability to believe that escaping slavery was something that was even possible. Like this idea that because of the vision she had, she was able to imagine a freedom that people without them weren't able to. And that wasn't that her life, she never overcame the headaches. Like there's no like happy ending in terms of, she ended up having surgery without anesthesia on her brain. Like, I'm sure the suffering and things that she went through was a lot. So it's not about her overcoming that, and it's not about her living her life despite it, because most of us don't even know that she had anything. I think it's just interesting to see how her life and her health conditions kind of intertwine with her spirituality and her journey, and how they're part of it. And I don't know if she was ever bent in a place where she was bent over and felt guilt or shame or any of the things that we might feel. I don't know, it doesn't say, and I'll never know. But I find there's something very interesting about her story, that she accomplished so much in her life, and she had this thing, not like she accomplished so much in her life despite this thing. Like, what happens if that was the cause of the other? I don't know, yeah. So I just wanted to end slightly differently today, because I don't know, I found, as someone who has chronic pain, I don't know, I found it's much more interesting to think about disability in terms of just another chapter in my life, and because of it, it's allowed me to see my life differently. And for all of us, for anyone that's tied down by guilt or shame or stories about who you are and what it is that you're meant to do and what you can't do or can do, there's hope, I think, is the real message. Like, there's being bound by that stuff is a choice, I think. And I think spirituality or God or whatever it is that you believe in or how you conceptualize it, whether or not you don't conceptualize it and you just think of community, I think those shifts in thinking are extremely hard. And it's something that I don't think we can do alone. And whether or not you hand that over to God or you hand it over to your community or you have people in your life that help you, I think we all are given the opportunity in this life to stand tall, however that means, and look up to the sky. I think there's healing in that. Thanks. All right. Welcome back, Alexis and Anthony.
Good morning, Mac. Good morning. Alexis, that was beautiful. Beautiful. I know it was difficult for you. We really appreciate it. Source of love, source of life, God, higher power, creator. Whatever name we call you, and however we experience you in our individual lives, here are the prayers of the people today. A prayer for continued enlightenment and hope for our church. A prayer for the Soitu family as Annika is in hospital. A prayer for Iran during this invasion. A prayer for health for Lorna Luke and for Rebecca and for all those in Parkdale who are subjected to forceful psychiatric treatments. And a prayer for medical autonomy for Amy. A prayer for Mother Pearl's surgery Tuesday and for Stephen. A prayer for everyone in the Middle East who are suffering. May they find hope and courage. We ask a blessing on my friend David's family and extended family at the loss of Emerson at a very young age. May the families find peace in a wealth of memories, and may they encircle Emerson's young wife and daughter in love and strength. A prayer for Reverend Chris to stay safe on his journey, bring him back gently, safely, and healthy. A prayer for Gail on each day of chemo to find increased strength. A prayer for all those struggling with the challenge of addiction. Help them on their journey so that they may find a healing path. A prayer that the Misik and Zelmazar families can find healing and forgiveness and can work beyond their differences. A prayer for healing and strength for Alexis on her difficult journey. A prayer for Tola for healing and for comfort for Luba and for strength for Barbara. A prayer for Matt, Lori's nephew. May he heal with strength. God, I have a special prayer today. Today I'm sending up a combined prayer of thanks and of remembrance. We have such beautiful gardens here at RUC, lovingly tended by Anne Harbinson. Each week something new blooms, each week something is poking its head up from the ground. Through the season, we see different things blooming and growing, and often reblooming, thanks to Anne's devotion. What hope that gives us, what joy. We are so lucky, despite the lack of rain this summer and the extraordinary heat. So I say a prayer of thanks for Anne's hard work and dedication and resolve to keep it going. I think we probably have the best church garden. This is a combined prayer of thanks and remembrance because lately I've been helping Anne out in very, very small ways to do some weeding here. And that brings back memories to me of tending my mother's garden. That gave us such great joy for us to be out working together in the yard through the years, watching each new thing pop up, and wondering if this plant or that had made it through the cold winter, and picking raspberries at the back to make pie or jam. And in the winter, Through the quiet snow, we would watch the birds who didn't fly south, perching at the bird feeder, especially the cardinals. They enjoyed the garden just as much in the winter as we did in the summer. Grieving is a complicated and long road, but as time goes on, one remembers those joyful moments, those times of the past, those simple shared daily joys. These keep us moving along, like the buds, like the blooms, like the gardens here at RUC. Let us remember those times as we remember the ones who have gone before us, as we grapple our grief and find our way. And as we now celebrate the ones who are with us, like Garden Ann and Peggy and Joan and Mac, Reverend Ann, Sarah, Carolyn, Sid, Anthony, Nancy, Kathy, Beth, and Amy, and so many, many others here that we remember and visit with each week. They are all each unique and colorful blooms themselves. Each one of these people takes us through the seasons and shares our garden pathway. Thanks for listening, God. Please send us some summer rain so these things can continue to grow in great abundance. It's the time now for peaches, corn, field tomatoes. Thank you for these gifts, God. What blessings we have. And finally, God, we offer to you the names and concerns we have not spoken here, but which we hold in our hearts, and we now take a moment of silence to share these with you. We make these prayers confident that your love endures in all our lives, now and forever. Amen.
All right. Thank you all for being here today. As I start a few weeks, my third year at school, I appreciate all of you who have been here and listening to me from the very start. And because I'm still learning, and I appreciate you all so very much. So as we go through this week, may all of the things that bind us, may we be free of those, whatever that means. And whether or not we can literally do it, or maybe we just metaphorically look up and look at the sky. I think there's something about remembering just exactly how small I am in the world, when sometimes I want to think that I'm the center of the universe. So, quote with a daring, as Dan says, a daring is pretty. And may we all remember that we are inherently whole. We are inherently good, we are inherently loved. And I send you out all of blessings and so much love. Not just from me, but from this space and all the people that fill it. And God, whatever that means to you. So, by the power manifested in me, by the power that let Anne let me, I'm going to send you all out with blessings and love. Thank you. And Nancy is going to send us out with
Thank you, Mac. That's great.
Go gently, go lightly, go safe in the Spirit, live simply, don't carry much more than you need. Go trusting God's goodness, go spreading God's kindness, stay centered on Jesus and where He will lead. Go singing, go bringing the gift of the Spirit, go hopefully searching for things that are true.